and Spike was there.
Yeah, yeah. Then, you know, a new network came out and labeled itself as the Men's Network. You know,
Seems
we
like
sat down, we talked to everybody. I mean, we went out, we talked to every network that was out there, but even Spike at the time was not willing to pay for it. You know, we put up the money for the first season of The Ultimate Fighter, $10 million. So that was like the last shot. I mean, we put up the last 10 million, and if this thing didn't work, it would have been over.
But all along the way, you're building your brand, though. You were building the brand of UFC, right? And what makes the brand of UFC are the fighters, the card, the excitement, the thrills that are going on there. Were you doing anything differently? What were you looking for as far as fight cards? When you're putting stuff together, you knew you had to have winners. You had to have some excitement.
I think there's a combination. I think that one of the things that we did is we revolutionized the fight industry. We changed it forever. And what we did was, you know, boxing, I've used boxing as the roadmap of what not to do. I looked at all the mistakes that they had made. I looked at some of the things that I thought they did right. And one of the things about the UFC is that those 3 letters, that brand, UFC plus some superstars equals success for everybody.
Right.
You know, and the difference is in boxing right now, you'll have a one-off fight. You know, 2 guys will fight and you won't see or hear anything again for a year, you know, a year and a half, and then there's another fight. With the UFC, inside that brand, you know, you build this brand and these fighters live inside this brand. You can keep promoting, it never stops, it keeps rolling, and you have these fans out there that you can keep hitting with the message, here's the next fight, here's the next guys that are coming up. And one of the other things that we did is, you know, inside this brand, these fighters live forever. They live forever inside the UFC brand. So, as you saw in boxing, you'd see these guys that would fight for a while, then they'd go away, then, you know, eventually there'd be some sad story about their life and where they are now and how they lost all their money or, you know, some bad thing happened to them. And one of the things that we've worked on and what we're trying to do now is all these different ancillary items that we're building, whether it's the UFC video game, the action figures or the cards and all the other things we're working on. You know, when a guy retires, he'll still get royalties from all these different, you know, things that we're offering to the fans. For instance, when's the last time you saw Roddy Piper wrestle? You know, last time he wrestled was back in the 80s. Roddy's sitting on a couch somewhere getting royalties on his action figure that they still sell in the stores. You think Michael Spinks is getting any royalties anywhere? You know, he's not. And that's one of the things that we're working hard on right now too is, you know, taking care of the guys who took care of us and helped us build this business.
Has everybody seen this? Can I get a shot of this, Randy? It's at a newsstand near you. Talking about brand, you're pretty happy about this, are you not?
It was our first shot at a magazine, and you know, and like any other business you get into, the magazine business is pretty tough. You know,
you need support, right? You need people to buy ads.
You need to know how to make a magazine too. You know,
storytelling.
Yeah. The other thing we did is we looked at the fight magazines, and we looked at the things that we thought they did wrong and things that they thought they did right, and we gave it a shot.
You know,
I wasn't supposed to be the cover, actually. It was supposed to be.
He's awfully handsome. Get a shot of that, really.
It was supposed to be.
Did they do any air touching up at all? Because, come on,
you
look pretty good.
They might have. I don't know.
Zoom in on it, Randy. Come on. Come in tight.
We shot another cover shot for that thing.
They never listened.
Being part of the problems, you know, in any business, yeah, we shot a different cover, and it had, you know, all the guys from UFC 100 on the cover, and the picture didn't work. It was horrible.
But, you know, you're part of this brand, too, though. I mean, you
that was the last minute. We had to go with that one, so sorry, guys.
You know, one thing about brands, though, if they tie you with UFC too much, if something happens to you, does the brand still live if you go away?
Yeah.
Listen, you're conscious.
We're building a sport right now. We're building a global sport. And I was just telling somebody earlier, you know, my goal in this whole thing right now, you know, is probably the end game for me, is when this is a sport all over the world. That's what I'm really driving and working hard for right now. For instance, soccer. The same game of soccer that we play here in the United States is the same game that they play in Mexico, Canada, Spain, Italy, France, all over the world. That's what we're working toward right now, to build this thing into a global sport where everybody plays by the same rules. That's my job right now. That's what I'm doing. Once I've done that, it's probably over for me. UFC lives forever. I'm not the UFC. I'm a guy who's just out there doing my part right now.
You're doing a good job. You know, partnerships are very important with businesses, alliances, looking at people, what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, partnerships. You entered into a partnership with Century, they're helping you out.
Yeah.
Here's one. They supported you. They bought ads, which is good. It's good.
Thank you, guys.
You could have done a 2-page spread, Dan.
Or 4.
4-page spread. As a matter of fact, you could have had the back cover. Gloves, boxing, but having partnerships and business partnership is very important.
Yeah, and you know, it meant a lot to us. When we first did our deal with Century, you know, not only were we fighting for legitimacy with the mainstream, you know, for people to accept these guys as athletes and to really understand what mixed martial arts was all about, but, you know, to be accepted by the martial artists, too. So when we started, you know, being accepted and brought the things like this and talking to the martial artists and with Century and Black Belt and all these other people, you know, it was a proud moment for me too. I feel that was one of the milestones in UFC history.
Well, talking about big things, there's a guy here in the room that's achieved some big things. I want to bring him up. He is a remarkable fighter and probably one of the nicest guys you ever want to meet. Talking about living within the brand, Mr. Matt Hughes. Let's give it up. Come on, let's go. You're on. Come on in. Yeah, you gotta keep clapping until he hits his mark.
You're fine.
Hey, brother. How's it going, Matt?
Good.
Let's talk about this Friday. This really is history. It's amazing. What are your thoughts on this card, and what goes through your mind from the day you got in the first ring, the first time you stepped in, to what? Talk about the arc that this guy has made happen.
This guy right here. You know, it's funny. When I got in this sport, it was a lot different. It was just, the fighting was underground, and maybe you ran across somebody who knew about it. But now, I mean, I can't walk through an airport or anywhere without somebody saying, hey, you're that UFC fighter, Matt Hughes. So, I mean, it's changed a lot in a lot of ways. So, I mean, he's definitely done his job. I really credit 3 things to the UFC being as big as it is. Number 1 is Zuffa. When they come in, they started doing some things right. Number 2 is Spike TV. And number 3 is Ultimate Fighter. Those 3 things together have really put the sport where it's at today.
You know, it's what I would think that really helped the success too is that you really put your money where your mouth was. These guys weren't making 500, maybe in the beginning they were making 50 bucks in a hotel room down the strip. But you stepped up. The money started coming in when pay-per-view started happening. You were supporting these fighters. You believed it. You were investing in them, right?
Well,
you changed things.
The way that it happened, and he knows this. I mean, and I say it publicly all the time. I'm not saying it because he's sitting there. You know, he's one of the guys who helped us build this business. Him, Chuck Liddell, Rich Franklin, and a bunch of other guys who were literally partners to us. Guys that, you know, we were able to, you know, work with and literally build a business with. You have to have, like I said, I can put on all the bells and whistles and do all the things. At the end of the day, these guys come in and do their job, and there was a level of respect and trust and friendship and everything with these guys, and they helped us build this business. And when I was saying living inside the brand, him, Chuck Liddell, and many, many other guys from the Forrest Griffins to this and that are going to be with us forever till the day, you know, it's over. You know, guys who really stuck by us through the hard times, and you know, I had competitors coming after me left and right, and people trying to, you know, come in, and I had guys who really stood by me and were my partner.